Welcome back to The Real Life with Duke White. This is Crystal, and I'm here with Clinton McRae Jr.
Yay!
Yay! He is an author. He has written many books,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
Today we are talking about parent leadership for today.
Amen.
We will have him back to talk about some of the other books he has written. One of them I have been reading. I'm going to give them a little hint. It's called She Rose, and it is wonderful. So look that one up already. Right now, we're going to get into this. He has a workbook that goes with this that is awesome. And already, right in the beginning, in lesson 1, there is pillars. And it is about relationships, motivation, the aim. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, I can. So parent leadership. So it really sits on these three pillars that I was able to put together. And so the first one is that this whole thing, parent leadership is really relational. A lot of times when I'm lecturing and chatting with people, and I'm talking about this book and that, they say, you know what, Clint, it's kind of past me. Or either one, my children are grown, right? They've already had them. So I said, well, a good parent leaves an inheritance for his children's children, which means that if you're a grandparent, then your parenting isn't over.
Right.
Right. But the other part is that you really don't need to be a biological mother or father. That when I say it's relational, it extends beyond the borders of biological. So if you think about it, let's take the word parent leadership. The word parent brings with the idea of guardian. If you look at leadership, it has this business of influence. If you have the ability, if some child will allow you to be their guardian, and if they are influenced by you, then that qualifies for parent leadership.
Right.
So let's remove and let's get rid of the ideas that I don't have any children. If there's a child that is drawn to you, then that qualifies and makes a sense of parent leadership. So it becomes very relational. We probably know that there are families, there are aunts and uncles that appear to be more influential than the biological.
Right.
And then, you think about marriages, and you could have the father, but then, you get another father who marries in, and then he is exhibiting all the things that one would think of a great father. And then that son is like, hey, I love him. I love my biological father, but I love this one. And the sense of value and connectedness is with the one who doesn't have the title. Right. Sometimes I think we have titles, but it's really about who you are, right? And that connection that you make. So really quickly, aunts, uncles, don't have children, you qualify because parent leadership is relational. The second piece is that there's this whole motivation behind it. It's not only biblical an idea, but I have this whole passion because I have a lot of friends that have children, they've raised their children, and the children are at home. They're not, and they're struggling. Parents don't really know how to have the conversation. And so I just think that it's tough for a child to come into their destiny when they're still at home. I think that there's a blessing in the struggle. I think that, at some point we are to leave and cleave, right? At some point we are to, this sense of becoming autonomous, that if you build your life around being within the home of your parent, and you never stretch out to do that, then I think that whatever God has for you, it would probably be short-sighted because you won't come into what He has for you because you've never grown and come into the struggle. Really quick, when children get here, they're very dependent upon us. At some point, a child should become independent, and healthy families are interdependent.
Okay.
I can't become interdependent if I'm never independent.
Okay.
So let's figure out how to give our children what they need so that they can fly and soar and do more and outdo us. That's I want my children to outdo me, right? And so then at some point they'll be able to speak to the enemy at the gate, according to the psalmist, which is cover us as parents. Last piece, the aim of parent leadership.
Right.
The aim of parent leadership is that there's this bullseye. So what I want you to get from this book, what is the bullseye? I want you to have a love for God. I want you to want to serve humanity. I want you to become a maximized producer in the workplace. we talk about Deuteronomy. You be the head and not the tail. You be above and not beneath, all that stuff.
Right.
But then we got children that they're not performing at the level they should, right? So the aim of parent leadership is to try to help them, right? So that they can go to school, finish, and be whatever God has already prescribed for them.
Exactly.
That's the aim.
For them to walk in their purpose.
Their purpose,
right,
yeah. That is the aim. That
has
he
for
has for them, right? So let's get you to figure out how to do that, and that's really the aim. And part of that is there's got to be a sense of autonomy. I need to be able to take care of myself and be able to, buy my own food. Some sense of autonomy. And I'm not only a leadership guy, joined the Navy at 17, been working my entire life.
Right.
I'm about hard work.
Right.
I mean, things that are done well. I read lots of books. There's this a book by it's called Outliers. And he just talks about what it takes to be world class. And so God gives us he births us, and he gives you a level of talent.
Right.
But to become world class, then you got to work the talent. You got to grow the talent. You got to perfect the talent, right?
You do.
You got to perfect it. So you can be gifted in something, but I'll tell you that I'm not the most gifted, but I'll outwork you.
Right. And the key to all of that, I believe, is preparing.
Preparing, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
God calls us to prepare. That's what faith is. A lot of times we say we have faith in something, and you have to actually, when you believe in it, you have to prepare for everything you do. You have to keep preparing for it. And, and that's how you get to where you want to be. And that's how you have to prepare your children
exactly
to where you want them to be.
You want them to be, yeah.
All
it's hard work. It takes hard work.
It is hard work.
It takes hard work. And I'm not trying, I just tell you what it is. A friend of mine, he's a psychologist, and this is another whole discussion, but he says, he goes in schools and he helps parents, and he says, hey, I see this in schools. You can be what you want to be. And he says, Clint, we should change that to should say, you can be what you work to be.
Oh, wow.
Because we can dream a lot. And I'm not trying to stop the dreamers. Don't get me wrong. But dreaming is just that. At some point, we got to put legs and arms, and when we have to invest in the dream and make the investment. So we have to work it. And so working is a big part of that. So telling the child that you can be what you work to be is another whole discussion, and it gives you another perspective.
Oh, that's awesome. All
Thank
right.
you.
We'll be right back.